guys, I'm not really sure how to start this, so I guess I'll just try to start it as normally as possible. Today's Tuesday, July 16th, which would be day 16 of Nano. And I'm sorry I cut my last vlog off so abruptly. I did intend to film a little bit more that evening, but I'd gotten a call from my sister. Someone had messaged her that my mom's house was on fire, and I just kind of was like, you're kidding me. Like, this can't happen again. Because this actually happened once before in 1995 when I was 13 years old. We did lose everything at that point, and it was a really hard thing to come back from. It was just really hard to rebuild our lives after that. You don't think your belongings and home is that important until you just don't have it anymore. But it turns out that my mom, her house was on fire. It was caused because her and my brother were burning yard waste in a burn barrel earlier that day. So my mom left it to go in the house and log on for work, and she looked up and saw that there was a bunch of smoke coming up, and she realized that the back end of the house was on fire. She did get out with herself and her two dogs and the clothes on her back. She didn't even have time to put on shoes or get her keys to her vehicles to move them, or her purse or her phone or anything. But she's safe, she's okay, the dogs are okay. And her house and everything in it was considered a total loss. So she lost everything. It's just hard. I just feel really bad for her because the first time it was so hard to deal with and go through. And now she's having to do that all over again. At age 64, she has to start all over again. She did end up losing her SUV and one of my brother's vehicles that was there, and everything in the house and the house. And this was the same house that burned in 1995. Well, when they rebuilt it in 95, they didn't build it right. Instead of tearing out burned walls and wood and everything, they just built up over it. And within months of us moving back in 96, there was black mold in a lot of places in the house, and mushrooms were growing out of the walls. And my mom had to pay to have someone come in and fix it as best as they could. But because all of that happened, from 96 to 2019, the house wasn't insured because nobody would insure such a house because of it just wasn't structurally sound. So she didn't have insurance on the house. I just feel so bad for her. So that's where I've been and what I've been doing, and I haven't been doing any writing. It's just been trying to see if there's anything I can do for my mom. My sister and I did start a GoFundMe for her, which I might try to link below if I can. And even if you don't want to donate, if you could just share it around on your social media, that would be really helpful. That would be really awesome if you could do that. With everything going on with my family, I'm that kind of person who does like to lose herself in work when things are going crazy in real life, I guess. But because my mother, middle, is so... It's going to be such a chore to really focus and figure out what I need to do. I just have no ambition right now to even go write anything. But that might change later this week, I don't know. And Ryan's been out of town since Monday for work, so it's just been me with the kids, and Boston started swimming lessons, and Wrigley's doing his preschool Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it's not like I even have time to write because they're just, the kids are here, and it's without Ryan here to kind of either take them to his parents' house or hang out with them so I can work. It's super hard. And then with Walter, very demanding. Okay, Walt, we know. We know, Piggy. Okay, guys, jeez. My mom's house is about 3.5 hours away from where I live. And I did offer to go up there to see if there's anything I can do this weekend. So I'm not sure if that will be happening or not. I don't really know if there's anything I can do or help with at this point. The house isn't very safe to be inside of because the upstairs, at least in the back half of the house, has either partially or mostly all fallen down to the downstairs, to the ground. I'm really not sure if anything's savable because if it didn't completely burn, it was very heavily smoke damaged at the very least. So I think I'm gonna wrap this up here. All right, bye guys. Hey guys, I guess I did make a little progress this week. Not much. Today is Saturday, July 20th. 20th day of Nano, only 11 days left. And surprisingly, I'm still above par even though I haven't written since Sunday. Before counting today's time in here, this is what my graph looks like. Right here. So see, I'm squeaking closer to par there, but I ended up on Sunday getting 1,260 minutes, but I'm gonna go ahead and update that now with my 103 minutes that I got today. So 1363. It moved. And yeah, I've just been working through these pages that I printed out. I think I have more of them finished than not at this point. And I'm really happy with what I've done today. I figured out how to integrate some of those info dumpy journal entries into the actual scenes that I had written, and then came up with an idea for a new scene that, well, not really a new scene. What I did was I took the earlier part of one scene off and broke it apart to make it its own scene that will kind of expand, and then I have a slightly different beginning to the scene that was existing, keeping the ending of that one. So is there a word for that? What is that called? I don't know. But I'm on page 31 of 46, and I'll show you which section I printed out. I didn't print out the entire second half of the second act, just the ones here that have the word, let me drag this over, no spoilers for you guys, on my chapter names, as if you couldn't see them already. I'm sure if you paid any attention, you've probably read some of them. My drag document is the one highlighted in blue. So drag document. Well, actually this would be easier if I just take the camera to the screen. Okay, so this is the beginning of that second half of the second act folder. Everything up to this drag document I already have gone through in this second draft status, and I'm pretty happy with as far as that second draft status goes. But everything under this drag document that says printed is what I have printed. So these last two scenes, sections, chapters, cards, whatever these are, I know are gonna stay pretty close to the same. I do have a few paragraphs of instances I want her to be thinking about to add to those scenes, but mostly they're gonna stay the same. And the dates on those are gonna stay the same, but every date from here to here is gonna be changing. And some of these were in, I think this one was like the end of May, June, July, skip to the end of July, then skip to the end of August, and then into the beginning of September. But as I was saying in my last vlog that completely tanked as far as views goes, I don't know what it was about that vlog, just nobody watched it. But that's beside the point. But because no one watched it, I'll go ahead and rehash kind of a little bit about what I said there after I adjust that a bit. Okay. I wanted to condense things more toward the end of the summer and not just have it be reading as like a series of short, disjointed stories as it was reading, with a journal entry, a scene where you're back in the action, then a journal entry, basically info dumping what happened that was boring at these doctor's appointments she's going to, that I don't really want to have to make actual scenes of her at these appointments. But I found a better way to relay that information without, I actually condensed, I think 4 to 6, somewhere in there, I'm not 100% sure. 4 through 6, whatever number in there, journal entries, I have condensed down into one very short journal entry, and the rest of the information I have just tacked on to scenes that I'm working through, where she's thinking about these things or talking about these things with other characters, and it just seems more organic than just a quick journal info dump that is just gonna try to bridge the gap from scene to scene to scene. And it's just the weight that I was feeling about this section. This weight is not quickly, but not slowly, kind of somewhere in the middle, just at a moderate pace, lifting this weight off my shoulders. It's a moderately paced lifting of weight off my shoulders. I can't even articulate things. I'm coming up into this first day of school here, and the dates on this don't need to change. I don't know why I printed this out. It was just those 30 pages that the dates had to change. The dates stay the same on this, but since it's printed out, I might as well read through it and mark it up like I did these others, because I don't know, for me, editing, I hate wasting the paper. I absolutely hate that, but I'm a pen and paper kind of girl as far as like journaling goes, and just writing things down. Like digital calendars are great if it's just a quick reminder to go somewhere or do something. It's what, 6/11, the stuff going on with my mom in her house, and just my own feelings and emotions and childhood traumas coming back to life, resurfacing to be dealt with and released. And it's not an easy thing. I just had no ambition to jump right back into this, and I think that actually worked out for my own good, because I didn't allow myself to mask or push down the feelings that were coming up for me. With Ryan out of town, I had to be really present, because the kids, it was just me and the kids, and I had to be present and in the moment and doing things with them, and of course just being in my feelings and just empathizing with my mom and everything she's got going on, and crying and just trying to get a footing on what it is that's going on with me. And I'm not even the one that is probably really feeling this stuff. My mom, she's the one that I'm just like, a lot of my feelings are just knowing what a long road she has ahead as far as getting her house tore down, getting a new house built, and just accumulating the things people accumulate. It's a process. And the same with grief. I mean, no one died, but the house itself and all the memories and the objects in the house, I mean, they all hold their own energy, and it's just, you have to, especially when you're not ready, if something like this happens, an emergency happens, and you're not ready to release all these things in your life, and they're just poof, literally up in smoke. It's a lot to process, and it is a process. It doesn't just happen in 1 minute or 1 week or once the house is rebuilt. I mean, it's a I want to even say at times a lifelong process. My dogs are just totally tap dancing all over this vlog. I'm so sorry. Yeah, well, but it's been 24 years almost to the day, August 14th, 95, since the first fire, and things that I thought I had dealt with emotionally with everything that surrounded that fire it's like I'm a little kid, you know, I'm a 13-year-old girl again experiencing this. Of course, I'm about 3.5 hours away from my mom, so I'm not right there. I haven't even seen the house with my own eyes yet. So maybe even a part of me still doesn't feel like this is real. And when I go back, I'm not sure if it's going to be this month or the early part of next month, but when I go back, I know it's going to be even more to process and to grieve and just to handle. So taking it one step at a time. And yeah, well, I already fed Walter, so I don't know what his problem is. The door's open, he can run in and out. I don't know what his deal is, so I better go and see what he wants. So hope to get a little bit of time spent on this section tomorrow, and I will check back in with you then. Alright, thanks for listening to this long rambly vlog. I'm really sorry about this. The last 2 vlogs weren't my conventional seeing me write and edit and writing as normal, but hopefully I can get back on that normal schedule of filming myself doing these things rather than telling you guys what happened, you know, the show don't tell stuff. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll be doing more showing than telling. So thanks for hanging with me. Alright, bye.